Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Universal News. We are going to try to go through a bunch of topics today, including a look at some headline market sentiment type of news, then get into some bullish bearish news. We'll also look at some specific chain news, and finally, we'll do a little DeFi news and rumors at the end. One quick update from Universal: we will be closing the seed round mint on August 30th. So if you would like to take a part in our project as a seed round investor, starting at 2 AVAX, please visit our pre-sale minting site before the end of the month. Also, please keep in mind we'll be discussing many topics and giving opinions freely, so none of this should be considered financial advice or complete discussion of any topic. Please do your own research. Welcome everybody. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
We have
How are you?
Ozzy on the stage here. How are you doing, Ozzy?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, excited. And then Ghost, how are you this morning, sir?
Yes, good. Good, thanks.
Yeah, right on. And Wax, welcome, sir.
Hey, welcome.
All right. We'll get started with kind of some Fed news here. Did you see, Ozzy, that the Fed posted their minutes yesterday?
I haven't read all the minutes just yet, but I saw that they posted it. So
I can give you a quick little update. Basically, they just post the minutes from their previous meeting, so it's not like a new announcement. But they also can give comments, and the comments were hawkish. Um, they will. They said they will raise rates until inflation eases substantially. So they added that comment, and that the other comment they added, they expect unemployment to rise in 2022, and that basically the comments were pretty hawkish.
yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Um, Inflation, even though inflation came down in the most recent report, they wouldn't have had that data at the time of the report, and so the initial minutes, and so that would have made uh, definitely made them more hawkish. And even even with the current CPI and unemployment news, it probably won't change that attitude moving forward. Unemployment rising isn't surprising considering that I'd say more luxury um, type items are and services are likely to see a decline going into latter parts of 2022.
And then there's some other news involving inflation. So a bunch of numbers came out of Europe, UK, France, Spain, record, highest inflation 35, 40 years. Canada's inflation fell kind of like the United States, probably because of gas. Probably that's the big difference there. But
Yeah, yeah,
still,
that's
still some
exactly it.
inflation news. Yeah.
That's exactly it. The war in Ukraine right now is still majorly impacting Europe because they don't have their own oil and gas production. Whereas Canada and the U.S. does have um, some, at least some oil and gas production in Texas and Alberta, and and then we also have access to oil and gas from South America, which is more expensive for Europe to access.
Yeah. Well, definitely like a real recession or a longer sideways or even more downside definitely seems in the cards.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's definitely in the cards. I don't. I think it'd be irresponsible to suggest otherwise.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, cool. We can move on. The couple other little things. President Biden signed a $430 Inflation Reduction Act into law.
You mean
So,
billion? You
sorry.
mean
Yeah, thank you for correcting me. Millions don't mean anything anymore with U.S. laws that
no?
pass. It seems like. I mean, I looked at it briefly, but I mean, there's a lot. Like any big bill, there's just so much going on, and it's hard to break apart. But if just aware that it's out there. This was kind of interesting. 51 years ago this week, President Nixon suspended the convertibility of the U.S. dollar into gold. And just to kind of go into a Bitcoin right after that, there's a new film by Bitcoin betting director about Satoshi Nakamoto, which will try to reveal the identity of the creator of Bitcoin. And the other interesting thing about it is it's getting its funding through Ava Labs. So just it's an interesting film, and how they're funding the film is kind of cutting edge.
Yeah, that's interesting, to say the least. I would. It's kind of funny that this is the anniversary with Nixon, just because, um, it's kind of one of the reasons why people say that cryptocurrency was invented was
Exactly. Yeah.
was the kind of debasing of the dollar. So
Yeah. There's fun pictures you can that are kind of going around on, and it's like of an old U.S. dollar, and it says redeemable for gold, and the new ones just say $10.
yeah, it's very funny. It's kind of interesting to think and to see.
All right, cool. All right, let's get into some. We'll go into the bullish and bearish news kind of going on in crypto. The strike for on the bullish side, the Strike Payment Act, powered by Lightning Network, issued a Visa payment card. So I like hearing Strike and Visa on the Lightning Network. You can now buy, sell, and transfer cryptocurrencies in the PayPal mobile app. You used to be able to buy them, but you could do nothing with them. Like all you could do was buy it there at like probably the worst rates on the market, and then resell it there. You can just speculate on it. You couldn't move it. You couldn't take it out of the wallet or anything. So increased adoption there.
Yeah, I mean, I like seeing the adoption news like this. It's good. It's good news. It makes you feel good, but I really, I really don't think that it'll have enough of an effect at this point to push us out of the bearish conditions that we're in. Um, it's kind of a harsh reality where like people just, if we do enter like a true recession, like it already seems like we already have, with inflation out of control and unemployment numbers rising, high interest rates, people won't have the disposable income
Right.
to invest and speculate in cryptocurrency. So it doesn't really matter if industry or whatever is adopting it, because there just isn't the money to go around to speculate in it.
All right. Well, before we get into the bearish news, I'll give you a couple more and see if I can change your mind. No, I'm not trying to change your mind. But Brazil's largest investment bank, BTG Pactual, I've never heard of it, launches its own crypto exchange, Mint. So it kind of reminds me of like the BlackRock news, but just like out of Brazil, from last week. And then another one, which I thought was super cool. The Houston Texans become the first NFL team in history to accept Bitcoin for ticket purchases. Pay me in Bitcoin. With the athletes saying more and more of that too. So I thought that was fun. Google invested 1.56 billion into blockchain companies in September 2021 and June 2022. And then the last one, Crypto.com received permission to operate with crypto assets in the UK. So Crypto.com coming to the UK. All right. In bearish news, unless you guys want to comment on anything there.
Well, I think the NFL seems to have been the most open of the sports industries to cryptocurrency. Basketball's opened up to it a little bit as well, but American football, to be clear, the NFL has been paying certain players in Bitcoin since I think as early as 2017. So, like, it's interesting to see that they're also accepting payments in Bitcoin, but in my opinion, like the Houston Texans might also just be, you take the payment in Bitcoin and then sell it directly for cash, and or directly use it to pay your like whatever player
Like it'd be
is
immediate.
getting. Yeah, they're accepting it because they're like, oh, you've got some guy who either is like a player that's accepting Bitcoin as payment, and so they don't think a lot of people will use Bitcoin to pay, and whoever does will just make it easier, like lessen how much they need to buy to pay whatever player is taking payment in Bitcoin.
Interesting. Yeah. All right, let's get into some bearish news. And with NFTs, a Bored Apes was stolen with fake ApeCoin payment. So he was convinced, and some guy created a fake ApeCoin and paid him with that, and he got a Bored Ape. And then another 4 were stolen from a phishing attack. To me, it's just like such a high-profile NFT. Just doesn't look good.
It just shows about the level of education in the crypto space, though, that so many people fall for
It's
for
such
this
a high-value
security.
asset that people, when they invest in it, that there's that kind of danger involved. You know,
Yeah,
keep people away.
people need to there needs to be a lot of smartening up on security, especially just individual like wallet security. Like people just need to get smarter about that. Because I think there's a lot of people that are still very lackadaisical on that, and we need to get smarter about it because
Yeah,
as
and the
assets appreciate,
and the
people are going to want to steal them.
immutability. I mean, it's part of it. It's not going away. You know? So like when these transactions are final, is hard to take out of crypto. Here's another one. This is from Flows. Got to give props to Flow from Sphere 814. He posted. Peter Schiff again predicted the fall of Bitcoin to $10,000. Just talking about the potential downside. You guys see it falling that far?
13. 13 is my low number, somewhere around 13,000. If it were to go lower, that would be my number, not 10k. 10k is just there's way too much volume trading between 13 and 10k in the past.
Yeah, because if you
That
say 10K, you're like 9,000 is not far away from that. Or
yeah, like it
like one dropping a 0 isn't far from that, and that sounds hard to.
yeah, and like the thing is like in the previous bear market, we traded there was a lot of trading um in and around from basically 10k to 13k. There was a lot of trading, like there was a lot of bouncing around, kind of like we've been doing around between 21 and 23k. Although it was a much longer time frame on, like we're talking months and months, even years trading at that level. So um, I just don't see us breaking that low,
Yeah, that's a
breaking
good
that
point.
kind of support.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, let's get into some more of this. It's about Celsius. The whole and the balance of the Celsius nectar amounted to 2.85 billion. It's just another kind of bad news going on. The Tornado Cash situation. The cashed out website is now offline. Their Discord server has been deleted. I think they issued an arrest warrant for the developer. So that's kind of a black eye on the space. But people have been kind of rising up against that a little bit. It's been interesting to watch.
I think there's some positive and negative that comes from that. Tornado Cash is used notoriously by scammers
Yeah, it's
to and they drain the val. Like Tornado Cash was more or less draining the value of certain assets in crypto, because it was draining liquidity away because scammers were stealing these funds and taking them to fiat, and with hundreds, like we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars there. So um, Tornado Cash being shut down will lessen the ability of those scammers to hide away with that money, to run away and hide with that money, because Tornado Cash made it hard to track. That, and it was being used by terrorist and smuggling organizations
Worst of the worst.
to to basically traffic people and fund terrorist activities. So, like, there's a lot of negative. I understand the privacy aspects that some people like. I've been kind of trying to figure out for my own my own bot Schedule.me. Like, do I want it fully associated with my personal Binance account, or
Well, like
do
Aave and other protocols are blocking addresses linked to Tornado Cash. Tron CEO Justin Sun says Aave blocked his address when someone just sent him zero point 0.1 ETH randomly from a Tornado Cash. So like people are getting blocked even though they didn't interact with it, but they didn't approach it, but they did interact with the contract. Their wallet did.
Yeah, so I think there maybe is like Aave's crackdown is maybe a little bit of an overreach, but I mean, regulation's going to come to the space, and we're better off to try to self-regulate and show government that we can handle these things than have government
I agree
come
with
and
that, but like
dictate.
there's just so many issues. It feels like we're struggling as a community.
We're struggling with self-regulation,
Right.
partially just because of how decentralized it is, and really government won't be able to overcome that decentralization. Just because the US is only a portion of users. So if like it doesn't yes, the US has a certain might to enforce its will, but there's a lot of projects that and users that are not in the US, and they're like, well, it doesn't really matter. It's not my government that put this rule in place. And how easily could the US identify who's who, especially if you create a hot wallet, like an online wallet, like a MetaMask wallet, and then fund it through Tornado Cash, so then no one would really be able to confirm who originally funded that wallet. Just something to think about.
Yeah, no, it's interesting stuff. It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out, and it's going to have broad effects. It seems like, and
Likely.
it's causing debate too. So it'll be interesting to watch. Okay, we can get into some chain news. Quick shout out for Cardano lovers. They just flipped XRP to become the 6th largest cryptocurrency in the world. There was a lot out of Binance. Binance Labs made a strategic investment with Web3 infrastructure provider Anchor. Binance CEO, this one was interesting to me, says its Red Alarm platform has flagged 50 projects as potential scams or rugs. I've never heard of this Red Alarm platform, but talking about the community standing up for itself, I'm interested to find out more.
Yeah, that's the first I've heard of it. It sounds... I don't like that it's Binance that's doing it, especially because they could be getting into trouble with the SEC. So, I'm worried. I also just don't like. It'd be better if it was a decentralized authority that was maybe handling some of that.
Yeah. Well, and also with Binance, Binance Custody has added support for Solana Network. And it's just a fun fact, Binance is the most licensed crypto exchange globally. So even outside the United States, they are flexing their muscles a little bit lately.
Yeah, that's for sure. They're definitely the biggest exchange out there, without question. And
okay, and on the Ethereum chain, there was a little talk about this whale, the Ethereum whale that bought 150,000 ETH during the ICO woke up after a 3-year hibernation. Since yesterday, the user has distributed a whole total of 145,000 ETH across several wallets. So kind of just get ready for action. Additionally, ETH hit 2,000 during the week, but came back down. Kind of overall market sentiment maybe a little bit reflected there. Vitalik Buterin says Ethereum has set its terminal total difficulty, which predicts the merge of proof of stake to happen on September 15th, 2022. And then the last one, proponents of Ethereum's proof of work call it inevitable, which I thought was interesting. So there's going to be 2 chains, they're saying, I guess.
yeah, which I don't think will end well. I mean, it's just like Ethereum and Ethereum Classic and stuff. Like, sure, people are going to branch off, but
Or Bitcoin
Ethereum,
Cash or something.
Ethereum is like Ethereum by Vitalik Buterin is gonna be the Ethereum that survives. Anyone that branches off is just kind of
Well, I know there's
holding out hope.
there is, I mean, it's the wrong word, zealot, because maybe they're right, but there's a strong contingent that really believes in proof of work over proof of stake. So I think they'll get some followers.
Oh, 100%. Like just like Ethereum Classic has like managed to survive as long as it already has at this point. Like there are gonna be people that are zealots that are gonna follow whatever they believe, but I still think overall Ethereum proper will continue.
Are you playing in that at all? I mean, it seems it's too complicated for me. I mean, the Ethereum that I have, I'm just going to hold and watch. I'm not trying to make any plays during this, but it seems like there'll be a lot of action around this.
I was longing some Ethereum earlier in the week. I sold, I think, at 1950. So just before we hit 2000, like just before we hit 2000, I had a sell order and kind of sold out my Ethereum position because I just felt the market change a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
And now I'm waiting to see what Bitcoin and like how the market behaves in the next few days to see if I open up another long position into the Ethereum merge. But there's still a month to go, so it'll be kind of interesting and key to watch market movements. But I'll probably be prepared to short ETH as one like in the days coming after the merge is announced and completed.
All right, we can get into some news and rumors, kind of DeFi. This one's an NFT because we talked about Starbucks last week, but they had another announcement. It's going to be an NFT. They're light on the details about it, but they're going to launch an NFT inside their DApp. And we don't know if it will give you more rewards or the NFT in and of itself is a reward, but just the fact they announced it, I'm kind of excited about that working for them.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what that looks like, and I'll get to interact with it kind of regularly, so it'll be interesting to see.
It'd be almost interesting if they make it their rewards card.
Yeah,
Your reward
that's the
number.
thing. It could be the reward, or the NFT could give utility, like additional rewards, or something like that. Or maybe you can use your rewards to buy the NFT instead of buying coffee with it, or something like that.
I don't know why you'd want to buy an NFT, like their NFT with your
If
rewards.
you could resell it.
Yeah, but what it would have to, the NFT itself would have to have some kind of utility to make it have an intrinsic value.
I don't know. People collect the cups, bro.
That's true.
I see people
That's
come
true.
in for the cups like nobody's business, dude. It's just like, what do you need that many $25 cups for? Like, I don't get it. But anyway,
People
I mean,
are
they
weird.
love them, though, man.
Interesting.
Okay, this was an interesting one. Terra CEO Do Kwon gave his first interview after the collapse of the ecosystem, and I watched the interview. I think I'm a bit geek in the space, but I found it enthralling. They asked him a lot of tough questions. It was a good interview, I thought. So check that out if you get a chance.
Well, as a good interviewer yourself, it's good to hear that it was a good interview because
Oh, this guy blows me away. I was watching him in awe in that regard. You know what I mean? But I mean, I don't know that much about him. I had never seen him before. It was on Coinage. I'd never heard of it. I'd never watched it, but I think they have a lot of other stuff. But yeah, check that out if you get a chance. I mean, they ask him some tough questions, and it's just an interesting interview. Did you want to talk about LC at all, or kind of give an update on the goings on that happened last week? Liquid Capital, sorry, not LC.
yeah. So for those of you who've been a little bit not in the loop lately, in the last week, Liquid Capital has decided to shut down operations after a pretty after they decided to turn off their LMS without consulting the community, which caused the price to drop almost over 50% in a very, very short time. This then caused a significant amount of outrage within the community because LC was a major the LMS system, or the liquidity manager system, which is one of Horde's proprietary technologies.
Yeah, it creates a stable price for the coin.
Creates a stable price for the coin, and that was a large reason for many investors' buy-ins. And during the huge crash in the price, there was slippage that was reaching up to 70% for some people. So it was a pretty significant event. And after after all of that, the team initially wanted to try to keep moving forward with the project, but after discussions have decided to close the project. They're now working on a calculation with verified by Obsidian on the exact refund amounts for all holders that were holding before the crash in price. So before the announcement went out about the crash, they're working pretty much around the clock to try to make it happen. At the same time, there's a request for proposals that is going out for Orbital Swap, which was the DEX that had been acquired by Liquid Capital, and Obsidian is gathering those proposals and going to bring them to the Orbital community to decide what should happen to the DEX and who should gain control of the DEX moving forward.
Well, as an investor, I'm glad I have House of Obsidian on my side and they're involved, so that makes me feel a little better. But yeah, it's been interesting to watch that whole fiasco kind of go down. But let's see, and then the last thing, I was listening to an Ooze AMA, and they talked about Web3 chat, and I just never heard of this concept before. Have you guys ever heard of using chat like on the blockchain? I guess like using your wallet for chat.
I hadn't heard of it before, and I was also sitting in on that AMA, and I thought it was somewhat interesting, the concept. I think it's an interesting way to confirm that you're speaking with the wallet that you're trying to address. This is especially for like projects if you're trying to reach out to like a large whale to negotiate either like over-the-counter deals so they don't have such a negative impact on the price, or
it's like a verified communication, like a verified contact, like.
Yeah, but I don't
Important-
think it'll be
important
something
details.
that could really grow larger, like replace, let's say, like Facebook or WhatsApp or even just texting, because gas fees itself would make sending every message that you send would have a cost to it, and so it would be going back to the days of when phones had minutes and you paid for your minutes. So I don't know if people would be eager to return to that system for using Web3 messaging.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's anything that's gonna take over, but it does seem to add some new utility. So it'll be interesting to watch. But I just never heard of it. Just kind of wanted to bring it up quickly. Before we close today, did you want to quickly talk about Discord Me, Ozzy? And any updates you want to give on your project that the bot you're creating? You want to briefly talk about that?
Yeah. So, anyways, I've got Schedule.me, which is my Discord bot. For those of you who don't know Schedule.me, it's a Discord bot that takes your Discord events and automatically puts them on your calendar for you. So then you're better in the loop on what's going on in your favorite communities. Since I guess the last time I might have spoken on it, if I've ever spoken about it really seriously on this stage, we've really moved towards adding servers. We're now in over 25 servers,
And it's
so
free
that
for the servers to join, right?
yeah,
So you
it's
can
it's
invite
totally
any
free for
community in
servers.
for free, and they can post their events there.
Exactly. So it's awesome and free for servers, and We're starting to see some good uptake. A lot of servers are finding it really helpful, and and even seeing an uptick in attendance at their events because people are more aware of what's going on. On top of that, I've talked to a lot of users who've said that it's really helped their Discord experience, and we're already working with our devs to look at working on V2 and getting V2 out to users, including crypto payments. So having it instead of having to kind of reveal your identity by when you pay to use the bot, you'll be able to pay with just your MetaMask wallet and through our contract, and so you'll be able to then remain anonymous while still using the bot. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to as well as we move forward.
Cool, right on, Ozzy. Thank you. Yeah, so tell your friends. They can all use it. Tell your friends your
Yeah.
projects.
Tell your friends to use it, and tell your favorite server if they don't have it that they should.
Yeah.
So
And then,
reach out to me if you got any questions.
Yeah, you can come to the server and ask, and we do have some links here. But yeah, reach out to anybody here. Absolutely. Wox, you're involved in another project that's in pre-sale right now, aren't you?
Yes, of course. I am.
You
I am
wanna-
a designer in the Protocol X team, and I also am in the core team.
Cool. So when does so you got a pre-sale going live, and when does it close?
Yeah, the pre-sale goes live at August 12, and it finished at August 19 at 5 p.m. UTC.
Right on. And then they got some. I think you said something about an NFT launch coming too.
Yeah, we have NFTs with this, but the NFT is gonna come with the DEX and with the when the DEX gonna come live, maybe in 3-4 weeks.
Right on. Well, good luck with it. So there's a pre-sale going live. If anybody wants any information about it, you can come to our server too, and we can get you directed.
Yeah, you can join our links on the website at protocol-io, protocol-x.io. Sorry.
Well, good luck. I hope you have a successful pre-sale. I hope the last 24 hours goes well. And
Hey, thank
the
you.
Launch. Do you have a launch date?
Not yet.
Okay.
Maybe after the pre-sale, but we just want to be sure that everything is well secure. So yes.
All right. Right on. Well, very good.
You'll have to tell us when you guys get a launch date next time we have an AMA. Hopefully, you'll be able to give us a little update.
I know. I regret
Yeah.
not bringing it up last week because it's like 24 hours for the pre-sale. So
Yeah,
not a
the
lot of time
pre-sale ends tomorrow
for
at
do your
5
own
p.m.
research.
So
Sorry to interrupt.
go for it. Sorry.
No. Tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Yeah, the pre-sale ends tomorrow. So the launch is gonna be really quick after that. So right after our contract is audited by Certic and everything is gonna be sent to the place that we're gonna launch.
All right. Well, exciting times. Good luck to you, sir. Hope it goes well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's close this out. Thanks everyone for coming. Just a reminder, as far as updates from Universal, we are going to close the seed round mint. So August 30th is your last chance to get in. We have about 60 Genesis Black Hole NFTs left at 2 AVAX each, and then we'll close the seed round portion. Eventually, NFTs will reopen, but it will not be seed round. Let's see. And then I just quickly want to mention, we post the AMAs in our Discord, but also on our YouTube channel. So feel free to subscribe if you like the content to get updates, because we'll probably continue to do this every week. All right. Thanks very much, everybody, for coming. Thank you, Ozzy, Adamus, Ghost, and for everyone that came to attend. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you, man.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.